Welcome to Ready to Exhale, where Black women's voices, stories, and well-being are centered. This episode features the brilliant Dr. Raquel Martin. Let's jump right in. Welcome, Dr. Martin, to Ready to Exhale. It's so good to have you. I want to thank you for taking time to sit down and chat with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, I want to, since Exhale, Ready to Exhale is all about really grounding us into our breath and coming back to our breath as Black women. I would love to take just a few moments to just take a few inhales and exhales with you to ground us in our conversation. Is that okay?
That's great.
All right. Let's just inhale through our nose and out through our mouth. Another inhale. Just grounding us in our time together, and exhale. And those of you that are listening, I invite you to join us in this inhale and exhale. All right. Well, Dr. Martin, my first question for you
Mhm.
as we enter into this conversation is, what's bringing you joy or grounding you lately? We got a lot going on in our world. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious around that.
Oh, yeah, the answer to that will probably always be my family. I think
Mm.
when we logged in, you said, like, "How's everything going?" And I said, "Oh, well, it's going well." But Wednesdays are a day where I see therapy clients, so that always is a good, perspective taker, just simply because having the ability to work with people and help them and provide some aspect of support over a resource when they're going through difficult times is incredibly grounding. So my family is always incredibly good support, but a good brings joy. But I think a grounding thing is definitely my career. It's a blessing to be able to do this work.
Hmm. Well, that leads me into my next question is, those that are listening may not know who Dr. Martin is. A lot of my listeners will know. They'll know. But for those that don't know, can you just describe who you are, a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Raquel Martin. So I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I reside here in Nashville, but I'm from Philadelphia. I'm also a professor at a HBCU where I teach courses like hip hop, mental health, and activism, psychology of the Black experience, and research methods. I'm also a scientist. My research focuses on Black identity development. I'm currently doing a research study about Black identity development across the lifespan with adolescents as well as college students. I am a professional speaker and I'm also a health educator. I do a bunch of courses for continuing education credits for clinicians. So if anyone's like, what is a continuing education credit? We have to take certain courses every single year as licensed professionals to maintain our license. So I teach courses for that. I teach liberation psychology because I am a liberation psychologist. I teach ethical note taking to make sure that our notes are protecting our clients, especially super vulnerable populations, trans clients, undocumented clients, clients who may be considering different outlets when it comes to reproductive health. I teach becoming an anti-racist and anti-oppressive clinician, and then I also teach integrating Black identity development into clinical care as well. And I'm also a podcast host. I have a podcast called the Mind Your Mental podcast.
Yeah, no big deal. Just a little
Yeah,
bit of
and I'm
something.
mom.
Your
I'm
neck of the
mom
woods.
too. Yeah, mom of 2, wife to 1. Yeah.
Hmm. So much that you're contributing to our world. Thank you for who you are and the work that you do. If you could describe your mission or your legacy that you are building and leaving, how would you describe that? What would it be?
I would say my ultimate goal is to help individuals of African and Caribbean descent just reimagine what mental health and well-being means to them, and
Mm.
help them understand that they are worthy and owed so much care, and that we're able to decide what that care looks like and what that joy looks like in the first place.
Yeah, so good. For listeners who, I love the concept of reimagining. Um, It's so important, and in order to reimagine, we have to have kind of space in our lives, uh,
Yeah.
to do that imagining.
Yeah, and also have, like, the education about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I always say you can't address what you can't acknowledge what you can't recognize, and you can't recognize what you haven't been educated to see. So a good chunk of what I do is education, whether it's, teaching clinicians or teaching students, or even when I create content online, the core aspect is psychoeducation. Because, a lot of times people think therapy is the only path to healing. Therapy does not have a monopoly on healing. No matter what path you take, whether it is therapy or activism or spirituality, it's gonna be paved with community.
Mm.
So one of the biggest things I make sure I'm doing is making sure my community is full of people who are interested in learning. I always say, if you're here to learn. But education and community are the core things. Community is always going to be the biggest mental health resource I advocate for.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about that in the work that I do, centering Black women and their mental health and well-being, that, we don't heal in isolation. We heal in community. That's been traditionally how, Black people move in community, and so we don't heal in isolation. Like, we need each other, right?
Yeah.
Especially right now, leaning in to community, I believe, is what's going to has gotten us through and what's gonna continue, to get us through. As Black women, we have everyday stressors, and those stressors are compounded by systemic racism. This stress weathers our mental and emotional health. It's imperative to move this stress out of our bodies so we can live healthier and happier lives. Exhale app is a resource to partner with you in your well-being journey. To download, go to the App Store and Google Play. Now, let's get back to our episode. What do you feel like is missing right now from traditional mental health frameworks when it comes to our lived experiences as Black women? What do you think is missing?
I would say context. So I am a licensed clinical psychologist, but I'm a liberation psychologist, and liberation psychology
Mm,
is the epitome of psychology and context. Um, I always mention the fact that I specialize in individuals of African and Caribbean descent. I think at some point we went to a place where people thought generalizing is incredibly helpful, but it's not true, because the impact of racism and oppression and stereotypes on individual Black women, Black men, non-binary Black folk is going to be a different manifestation of depression and anxiety, or even the way we express ourselves. So I'm a big proponent of specialization, but also of liberation psychology, understanding the context, historical and current. And a lot of times we, as licensed mental health professionals, are educated in this individualistic, westernized perspective. Liberation psychology states that it's not my job to my goal as a clinician is not to help you come up with the best coping skills for racism or oppression. It's to help you fight it, right? And that's always going to come up in some way, shape, or form when you're dealing with a person of the global majority, when you're dealing with Black people. But helping your clients fight it in session, and then you taking the time to fight it outside of session as well, when it comes to
mm,
your own ways that you're providing care. When it comes to the fact that I also run groups, or the fact that I make sure that I'm doing a significant amount of in kind events where I'm donating time, when I make sure that I am advocating for different resources, whether it is lowering, well, increasing access to food, or decreasing food apartheids. And because a lot of times we'll think about risk and suicide prevention, but mental health is, like, I would say, step 77 something when it comes to,
sure.
suicide prevention. A living wage is suicide prevention. Reproductive health is suicide prevention. Prevention. Housing is suicide prevention. There's so many things that go into it, but at the end of the day,
Food, nutrition,
food,
right?
nutrition, combating
Yeah,
food apartheids, access to
gotcha.
resources too, and that's not always gonna be therapy.
Right.
So I would say a big part of missing it is the liberation aspect, acknowledging oppression, acknowledging the fact that we're not, specifically Black people, we're not individualistic people, we're not an individualistic culture. We are forced into an individualistic society, but we're a collective as people. And most
That's right.
of individuals are educated in this individualistic, westernized thing where the default is like a European American middle to upper class male. And that's not who I see or work with. So I say context
Mm,
is missing, and practicing from a level of cultural humility,
mm.
for everyone.
I was digging a little bit so good, by the way. So much
Thank
there.
you.
Ugh, so good. Um, I was doing a little bit of digging and you talk about Black mental wealth.
Mhm.
How can people begin to access or assess or build their own mental wealth in a system that wasn't designed for our well-being?
Yeah, I always tell a lot of individuals to, when we think about the system as a whole, you have to also think about what you want your system to look like. Because a lot of
Mm,
times, especially for our culture as a whole, we've always had to operate, we had to reside in a system that didn't support us. So we created our own system. So I talk about creating a coalition building amongst your community. The best thing about social media when it's done well is the fact that it is a resource to engage with individuals that are not directly near you. I've worked with a lot of clients in rural populations where no
mm,
one looks like them in person, but they are allowed to build a community of supportive individuals virtually. Um, and I say enforce that, like what that looks like for you, and understanding that your mental health and your resource and your well being and your wealth is a fingerprint. I try to really work with a lot of
mm,
Black people on understanding that you're not deserving of less just because your needs are different or that you may need more. Like somebody may need 15 minutes to come down from a difficult event, you may need five. It doesn't matter because what they need is what they need and what you need is what you need. I think a lot of times
mm.
we're always told to like, look on our own paper and mind our business. Do that when it comes to your coping skills
Mm.
too. Like I don't care if it takes you 15 minutes. It take me 25 and a nap. And
Right,
I'm
right,
gonna take the 25 and the nap, right?
right.
So I would say a big chunk of it is realizing that our needs are understandable given everything that we're dealing with. We are deserving of care. But it very much starts with building our community of individuals who can provide that care for us and creating
Yes.
that community because it's not really embedded in all the things that we are. A lot of places we're one of
Mhm.
few, sometimes we're one of many, but even that can feel really disconnecting. I felt lately that this whole realm of Black excellence is starting to become a really myopic thought process of Black excellence
Mm.
is only like entrepreneurship and things like that. I think it's very much morphed into something that is actually dehumanizing as well to Black people.
Right, right,
So I
right.
tell people to be intentional about community building. Like your community deserves your time, not like your afterthought. You have to take time to build it. You have to go out or log in. You have to be
Mhm.
intentional about that, check in with it. Because that's gonna be one of your greatest resources in the first place, and try to slow
Right.
down a bit. A lot of time I'm working with clients and it's maybe their first time coming in and they're like, "Well, I don't have like 10, 15 minutes to focus on my health." And it's just like, if you don't have 10 or 15 minutes to focus on your health, I feel like that's the main thing we're gonna focus on. But for
Right.
these first couple of sessions, I'm gonna go through your schedule for like every single day and I guarantee you have it. You just aren't as intentional about it. Even if it's like 15 minutes on the train, you c you could be
Right.
like,
Put
I don't
your
know,
AirPods
focusing.
in and
Yeah, like,
yeah,
and you get to decide what that looks like, right? Like, for
right.
the longest when I was, a good chunk of my training is in trauma, and I would have to create a gap between when I left work to when I came home, because I would just be
Mm,
bringing in an energy that no one in the home deserved, and it's really tough stuff to be dealing with, assault and trauma, and a good chunk of my clients were children, so it was very
mm,
tough. So I would always
mhm.
listen to a comedy podcast on the way home. Um,
Yeah.
I would always stop and get I mean, like, everyone doesn't have to do this, but those were my Chipotle days back in the day when it was good. Y'all, this is
Yes.
back in the day when it was good. My God.
When it was
When it was
the
really
guac.
good, stuff was seasoned, like, I don't know what like, I went there recently, I was like, "Oh my god.
What happened?
No." Yeah.
Where's my seasoning?
Yeah, it's terrible. I was like, "Oh my gosh," but I would make it a point to be intentional about, like, those are my Chipotle days, I needed more time to decompress than on my other days so I can bring in the
Yeah.
energy that everyone in the house deserves, and I would listen to a comedy podcast, like, I wouldn't
Mm.
I'm a scholar, so I'm always reading or writing. I literally was like, "No, I'm just gonna laugh for the next 45 minutes, like, I'm
Yeah.
not reading anything,"
Yeah.
and that was just
Yeah.
really important.
A way to, not just decompress, but also, like, it's a practice, right? Like, joy
Yeah,
is a practice. What do I love? What tastes good to me? What do I wanna
yeah,
eat? Like, I'm hearing a lot of, like, tuning in and listening to yourself,
yes.
and what do I need? Because it's gonna
Mhm.
look different than someone else. It may look different than my partner or my family members or my friends or people in my community or what mainstream mental health self care is telling us what to do. Like
Yes.
that doesn't always fit into what we really need or what we
Yeah.
can access or what's available to us.
I would
Yeah,
say most of the time it doesn't, to be honest with
that's
you.
right. Yeah, I agree.
One of the biggest things is, I always say the same thing my mom says. My mom is a social worker, so a lot of the one of the reasons why I think I look at psych different than a lot of clinicians because my mom's a social worker, so I always go to like
Yeah,
resources and no one's trying to talk about depression if they don't have grocery money. Like focus on
right.
like focus on the resources first, then we'll talk about my mom later. Can you? I don't
Yeah,
have groceries.
I
Okay,
need
like
food.
that's
Right.
more important, right? So I'm a big resource person, but she's always stated to her clients, like, I'm not in the business of trying to make you spend money. I would say the majority of the things that help me
Mhm.
self care wise and mental well being wise do not cost me money. They
Mhm.
cost me time and energy. They cause me to to slow down, which I can't stand. And a lot of times they're also not fun. To be honest with you, like
Right.
when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to financial self care, when it comes to me not scrolling all the time, when it comes to me having to have appropriate conflict resolution and communication, because being in community means there's also going to be conflict, but the issue isn't conflict,
Right.
it's poor conflict resolution.
Mm.
It causes me to take a moment and rethink those automatic thoughts that tell me to go, go, go every 5 seconds as a Black woman and realize that like it is really going to contribute to my downfall if I don't slow down.
Right. Right.
And combating those thoughts that come up when I do slow down. I remember I had a big
Mm.
issue with scarcity as growing up, and I remember taking a gig that like they were asking for so much and paying me little to nothing. And the first thing I thought when I was just like when they were offering it and I'm just saying, "I don't wanna do this," is like, "Who the heck you think you are to be turning down money?" Like, "Oh, okay,
Right. Right.
Beyonce, like, you just turning down money? Like, you just okay," you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's very much this thought process of just being like, "Well, I think it's
That's right.
appropriate for me to know my worth. They're asking for a lot, they're not paying me anything, and I'm gonna be resentful of that in the first place." So going to an
You're
event and
right.
being resentful of it means I'm not gonna be putting my best foot forward. So
Right.
it's best for me and those involved and that I'm just more aware of what my boundaries are and what my line is. But
Right.
that's tough. Like, it's tough to just be like, I guess I'll go to sleep at a reasonable hour, or I guess I'll address the fact that this person talks to me all crazy and like
Yeah.
it's getting on my nerves, or like address the fact that like I've outgrown this relationship or this environment. And even though it's a comfort, it's still like I don't think I want this person in my house no more. Like it's just that's
Right.
tough.
It's a lot of work. It's
A
hard.
lot of work. So, but none of that costs me money. It costs me time, it costs me energy, it costs me
Right.
effort. But I'm not in the business of making people spend money. It's why I share so much education
Mhm.
online because I'm like, my videos, you're gonna get a fact, you're gonna get some tips, you're gonna get a
That's right.
tool. You could therapy is incredibly helpful and stuff, but it's not accessible to so many people. But
That's
having
right.
access to licensed individuals who know how to break stuff down, who know to provide resources, that's when social media and stuff is at its best
So
because
good.
as a psychologist, only 5% of psychologists that are licensed in the US are Black, which means nobody gets enough
Mhm.
access to me in my community. Nobody,
Right.
there's not enough Black people who get access to me, period. It's just not a thing, right? Or
Right.
any of us licensed mental health professionals. So I really just try to bridge the gap and doing that in terms of like my space is it focuses on Black health and well-being. Like that is a very core thing. Like my goal is not to serve
Right.
everyone. I say I serve Black people and people who care about us. If you don't,
That's
you
right.
can dip. You're not my key audience, but
Mhm.
not diluting my stuff,
That's
not
right.
generalizing my stuff. We deserve a space where we're the core audience, not in comparison to somebody like, oh, well, when it
Right.
comes to European thing, gonna do me. I'm talking about the wealth of diversity within the Black
That's right.
experience. And even then, that's a lie. I'm still not gonna be able to cover everything in that. Like
That's
we
right.
got
That's right.
huge, amazing vibes. So I,
That's
I I
right.
really try to be core about like, yeah, I'm sure this can also help other people, and that's fine. And
Right.
other people can be here. I have no problem with other people being here. But I do want you to understand who the spotlight is and will always be on culturally. You're a guest.
And that's
Don't make
right.
me kick you out.
That's right. Don't make me have to.
Don't make
Don't
me
make
have
me
to, accost you, because I have no problem.
and for the listeners that
Mhm.
are tuning in today, I just wanna tell y'all, follow Doctor Martin.
Thank
You will love
you.
her content. It is So good, so good. I have been following you and listening to you, for so long and enjoying what you, contribute,
Thank you.
so beautifully and grounds us. And then I got to meet you in person. I was
Oh, yeah,
fangirling.
at Afrotech, they have that amazing, like, the health stack thing that they're doing is amazing.
So amazing. And I was there with my friend Vanessa Garrison, who is, the co-founder of Girl Trek, and
Love it.
I
Yeah, I've been when she came out, I was like, "Girl, I've been following you for a while, please stop." I
I
just
know
be
she
like
was explaining who she was
I
to
know
you.
when I said, "I've been following you longer than you've been following me," I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
But thank you
Yeah,
for
we
the
were over there.
unnecessary intro.
We were fangirling. I was like,
I was
"That's
like,
Doctor," and
"I
then
follow you."
yeah, "There's Doctor Martin." So we got to chat at Afrotech, and you were so gracious and, willing to just sit down and make time for me. But
Oh,
I have
yeah,
been
I
following
think this is
you.
amazing what you do with the community
Thank
and creating
you.
a space, like, doing the same exact thing of being like, "This isn't for everyone, it's for a core group of individuals who deserve it,"
That's right.
and protecting that space unabashedly, like, it's tough in the first place, it's even tougher in this climate,
That's
like, it's
right.
incredibly difficult, so I appreciate when there's so many different resources. One of the things that helps me protect my mental health and not taking on more tasks is knowing what's out there and just being like, "Oh, no, I don't have any openings, but let me give you a list of these amazing." You got this
Resources.
community, you need to do a little walkie walk, girl trek, do the app, it really
Uh,
does help protect me because I say no more than I say yes most of the time, but I'm able
yeah,
to do that because I'm aware of all that's out
right.
there in the first place. I tell a lot of people to do that, like, especially, like, my young my younger clinicians, my baby clinicians, I'm like, "You're taking on too
Mhm.
much because you don't have a good referral list, okay? You don't know all
Right.
the communities out there because your referral list can't just be therapy. It
That's
can't.
right.
It has to
That's
be communities, it has to be online communities, it has to be people can follow, it has to be podcasts, it has to be
that's right.
in-person meetups, like, you burnt out because you took that client, you should never took that client. You
That's
shoulda
right.
you shoulda provided them with an option for other things and then maybe see them in a little bit if you have availability, but having a good referral list, knowing all of the amazing resources out there, my entire all I follow is, like, Black people, mostly Black women, Black therapists,
Same.
Black
Same.
communities, Sad Girls Club, like, all like,
That's
and
right.
when
Oh,
they do that little suggested thing when you follow somebody, I hit every single one of them Jones. I'll be like, "You know
same.
what?
Boop, 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 boop,
Thank
boop.
you."
These are my people. I have built such a strong community online. Like,
Yeah.
that is I live in Indiana, and I have a community here. I do have a community, but my larger community that I was longing for, I really built via social media. Like, I
Yeah, I
found
always
you,
say when it's done
and I
well.
so many people that and so when I open up my page, it is curated with my
Mhm.
folks. Like, these are my people, and we're
Yeah.
sharing each other's stuff, liking
Yep.
each like, supporting each other, finding ways to connect, even, having some of those folks that I used to follow now on my podcast or
Mhm.
in the app, in Excel app. So, it's been really a beautiful way for me to build out my larger community and connect
Yeah.
with specifically with Black women.
Yeah, I always tell people like, I know the internet and social media is like it's a lot, and the algorithm is a tool, and it's there's no tool like it.
Mhm.
But I say when it's done well, it's done well. I would have never met half of the people. I literally just be like, I would have never met half the people because honestly, I have two
I know.
younger children. I'm in Nashville, so there's not a lot of Black people here. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. I'm never out, like unless I'm at
Right,
like a work event, like I was at Afrotech. But I'm never
right,
actually out. I would never get to meet the wealth of
yeah,
individuals if it wasn't for having stuff suggested to me. And you mentioned such
yeah,
a good point of curating your feed. I tell so many people to curate their feed. I always say what I'm interested in and not interested in. And to be
sure.
honest, I wish they would change this, but I get why they don't. When I go into Instagram and if you click the button at the top, I just click who I'm following, like friends. That's the only one I look at. Like, I don't look at the
Right,
normal feed. I know why they
right,
don't change it because, then you wouldn't get to see all their ads and crap, but
right.
so I gotta hit it every time I log into the app, but I only look at my friends' stuff. Like, none of my friends like, a couple of my friends are here, but they all like, I'm on here to look at recipes. I'm on here to look to see if these babies' Easter outfits. I'm on here to see, like, what's this book club event, like, Black Books to
Right.
Grant. Like, I'm on here for fun stuff. I'm not
That's right.
here I'm not here
Yeah,
for this. I have my
right.
own news that I follow
Same.
and, like, so I don't need mm-mm.
I'm not here for the harm.
I'm not because I know the people I follow for news. It's more so like following the individuals that I follow. They've been journalists for years. I understand I'm going to get the
Yeah.
information. Capital B News is one of my. It's a nonprofit news
Mm,
organization, and I know I'm going to get facts, no filler, no trash. They're at a really good place with the fact that they are a nonprofit and they operate off of
yeah,
donations, because advertising and purchasing news is the reason why we don't always get
that's right.
like, the real news, but I only look at the people I don't need I be seeing I'm just like, who is this?
Yeah,
Let
how'd
me
you
s
get over
How
here?
did you get over here? And then I ain't click the button. I'm looking at
Yeah,
somebody
right,
random stuff. Curate your feed,
right.
y'all,
Curate
please.
your feed. Get Dr. Martin in your feed. Get
Yeah,
Dr. Martin in your feed, and then go from there.
yeah, pay attention to your
First
body when you're
step.
looking at stuff. If I'm comparing myself to this
Oh,
person, even, like, certain things, like, with fitness, I follow fitness people because some people have such just amazing content with that, but
mhm.
I don't follow fitness people who aren't of a certain age. I don't follow fitness people that I do follow people who don't have children if they're older and stuff like that, but I really do prefer
Mhm.
to see, like, you doing push-ups next to a dirty
Yeah,
diaper. I really
yeah.
want like, I wanna know
Your
I
baby
wanna
on your
hear
back. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I wanna see you doing burpees and there's screaming in the
yeah,
background, like, I want
yeah.
because then even the way you're coming at it, you're just more realistic for me, like, I don't want
That's right.
nobody who, like I used to do 2 a days too, baby girl. I don't do that
Yeah,
no
3
more.
days is
I don't
over.
wanna no, honey. You look so cute and you are adorable. I love you. You are so great. I am gonna hit unfollow though, honey. Um, and it's not you, it's me. Because if certain thoughts come up for me in comparison to you, I'm the
Right.
problem. You are
Yeah,
fantastic. You are amazing. Body for
right,
days, honey. Body, what they say,
right.
T, you look great. I just
Tea.
simply can't be here, is what I'm
Right.
saying. Because it
Yeah.
stopped being fun for me.
I
So
love
I
you
gotta go.
saying pay attention to how your body like, what's happening
Yes.
in your body when you're engaging with certain content, like, that's a
Okay.
great, indicator, right?
Yeah.
And this is a well-being tip, is to
Hmm.
pay attention to your body.
Oh
Pay
yeah.
attention to your body when you're in relationship or entering into relationship with just pay attention to your body.
Uh-huh.
In general, I think we're taught well, not even taught, but because of oppressive systems, we,
Yeah.
are disembodied, right? Especially as Black women to protect ourselves and for many
Mhm.
different reasons. I think practicing embodiment, that's what I'm hearing is like, listen to your body when you're engaging, right? With
Yeah.
anything. Like, what's happening? Are my shoulders really tense? Is my jaw tight? Like, what's happening? Is my stomach turning? Like,
You're
listen
breathing. I know you listen.
breathing,
Yeah.
yeah, short breaths.
Yep.
Are you able to take a deep, exhale, right? Like, pay attention, like, tuning in, and I tell my clients as a coach all the time, like, tune into yourself, like,
Mhm.
tune in here. What is happening here? Your body, is telling you.
Yeah.
It's letting you know, right? And so I'm hearing that when you talk about, listen to your body when certain things come up in your feed, right? Maybe it's not good
Yeah.
for you. Pay attention. And there's this larger message that I'm hearing too, like just listen to your body, on a
Mhm.
as a practice, as a well-being practice, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that person's content. Like certain
Right,
people's that's why I'm like, "You're amazing." However, I just can't do
right,
it. I didn't need to
that's
comment
right,
anything about something being
right,
unrealistic. I ain't have to comment that like, "Of course you could
right.
do this. You don't have any children. You're not married." No, I simply like, because that's
Right,
another thing. You
moving
also have to
on.
think about that. Just move it on, honey. That has nothing to do with the person's content. That's
That's
is if
right.
it's not receptive to you, then you're not their audience, and if you're not their audience, I don't think you need to be in the room or speak
That's
or
right.
announce your exit. Um,
That's
I
right.
think that that's the
That's right.
perfect thing. I think more people, especially Black, we need to think about who really benefits from us being disconnected from our body, who
Mhm.
benefits from us not knowing that we're being taken advantage of and not giving the care and resources that we deserve. And if we're numb to it, then we're not gonna be active over it. We're not gonna do
That's
activism
right.
over it. We're just gonna keep moving. And you can start with little things. Like I don't have a ridiculous amount of time, to be honest. My day ends really, really early because my boys are in school and stuff like that. And my husband, he has a normal job, like he's an accountant. So he actually has to like the 9 to 5. I'm the one with the flexible job.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
So
Mhm.
I'll tell clients like, okay, so let's start with like one non-negotiable a week. People really try to go big with
Right.
coping skills and new grounding techniques. I say go realistic.
That's
Okay,
right.
let's do one thing, and for the longest, my one non-negotiable was 1 lunch a week, I don't scroll, like, I literally just sit there and eat,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it felt so good that I'm like, "Let's see if we can do that again," or
That's
it
right.
was something as simple as for one at one point in time, I was just getting very overwhelmed with, talking after certain times, so 2 nights out the week, I I don't do calls after 6, right? Like, it's just therapy
Mhm.
days are really hard energy-wise, so, like, I just don't have the
Right.
capacity to give this conversation the energy it deserves, and it doesn't mean I don't care. I care so much that I know you deserve more of my energy, and I don't have it. So, like, Monday, Wednesday, I just can't do it. The rest of the week,
Right.
I got you, right? But I
Mhm.
always say go realistic, don't go big. Don't say, "I'm gonna do something 7 days out the week," because, you miss one day, and then you feel you're setting yourself up for failure, and this is something that's
Right.
supposed to be helping you and supporting you. When I'm with
That's
my
right.
we start with, like, 1 or 2 days, and then even my clients are like, "When do I add something more?" I said, "I mean, probably when we've been doing this for at least a month.
That's right. Yeah.
Focus."
That's right.
Like, it's not a race. You're not gonna
Yeah.
win therapy, honey. I don't have any
Right.
favorites. Just
Right.
I want
Let's
whatever I just wanna do your goals, like, we set goals and working on that. It's why when I'm sharing information, I share really tangible stuff. It's like, I'm not an abstract person. I'm not gonna,
right.
I'm gonna be like, "No, these are 3 things that can help you, and take what works, leave what doesn't."
Right. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
mean, I talk about that. We offer that in Exhale. We
Mhm.
talk about micro, self-care, like
Yeah.
micro, right? So we have 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, breath work techniques or guided
Mhm.
meditations. Sometimes it feels overwhelming to approach kind of caring for ourselves. So I'm like, "Hey, open the
Yeah.
app, 5 minutes, spend 5 minutes. Is 5
Yeah.
minutes enough?" Yes. 5 minutes is enough, right? And instead of thinking, "I have to get in there and spend 20 minutes," or, right, "I have to meditate, I have to find a quiet space." It's like, "No, no, no, no. You can go on a walk and
Mhm.
for 5 minutes, do a breathwork technique, or you can sit, in the corner of your office, while you're waiting on your next client and breathe for
Mhm.
5 minutes, right? Like, and that is enough. That is
Yeah.
enough, right? It's not about, like you said, making these huge, huge, really unattainable, goals. We're setting ourselves up for failure. It's really about those small ways. Can I tune into myself? Can I pause, during lunch and literally just focus on eating, right? Just
Mhm.
rest my brain, right? Like, these are small ways that we can tune in and really start to, care for ourselves instead
Yeah.
of feeling like it's this big thing that I have to, achieve or accomplish. It's like, no, this is care.
Mhm.
We can start, and it's not even about starting. It's about small ways every day that I'm tuning in and caring for myself. So I'm curious around, what
Mhm.
does a liberated well-being practice look like for you? And what are
Yeah.
some of your non-negotiables? I mean, we've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm curious.
This year, my non-negotiables, I only travel once a month this year. Travel was taking a huge toll on my body. So
Yeah.
I decided this year it's one event a month, non-negotiable. I offer alternatives, like if you want to see me virtually, and then my resources honestly help me a lot, with just being like, can't come in person, but I do have this webinar, utilize that.
Mm.
A lot of my non-negotiables are honestly in parenting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
just simply because my children's well-being, our children's well-being is just so important to us.
yeah,
So things such
absolutely.
as like providing choices. I don't hit my children. I try. every single second of the day not to raise my voice, and when I do, I apologize. Apologizing is a huge
Yeah,
non-negotiable, and I say it with my family because their well-being is just inextricably linked to mine. Like, them having
100%.
a rough day and not feeling cared for just impacts the way I feel as a person.
Mhm.
But I would
Yeah.
say a lot of stuff is I go on walks. I'm about to go on a walk after this, right before my next session. Minimum 30-minute walk a day. Um,
Mhm.
and then if I can't do it outside, I'll do it inside. I have this little walking pad that I hate. Outside is so much better. I'd rather wear a parka and walk outside
Yes, me too.
than be
I
in
gotta
this
get
70-degree
outside.
weather in my house. I mean, like, I just be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I hate this."
need
Like,
fresh
I can't
air. I need
can't
fresh
stand
air. I need to see
give
the
me
trees.
fresh air, please. I have
Even
2
if the
boys in this
trees are
house.
sticks.
I
The trees are sticks right now.
Yes.
They don't have
Yes.
leaves, but I
Yes.
still need to see them.
Um, but I would say those are the biggest things. Oh, one of my biggest the way as someone who reads a lot of, I specialize in Black health and well-being, so all of my stuff is like, most of the stuff is no, it's not all African and Caribbean descent, but it is centered in people of the global majority. Right now, I'm actually reading a lot about Native and Indigenous practices,
Mhm.
but I rotate between fiction and nonfiction.
Yeah,
Um, I always have to have at least one light read in between my stuff because it can get really heavy, and
sure.
it can really impact it. It just really impacts my just thought process. Like I can't read Caste and then 1619 and then
Right.
I
Woo!
just can't do it. So I
I
gotta
know.
put, we gotta have some Kennedy Ryan in the middle of that. I'll read
Right,
J.
right.
California Cooper. I'll read Jacqueline Woodson. I'll read Renee Watson. Like I can't, but I just can't. And it took me a while to realize that because
Yeah,
it's like you want to stay up on stuff. I'm reading research articles and I'm teaching my
sure.
classes and I'm doing all this. And then like my outlook is just like, oh
Yeah,
my God, So
yeah.
it's just like that is a
Don't
big non-negotiable. Like I always have. It's
yeah.
not even a light read. I would just say, I don't know if it's like a soothing read. Like certain authors, as soon as I read them, it's like, just
Mhm.
nervous system
Okay.
calms. Like
Yes,
Jacqueline Woodson, nervous system calms. Kennedy
yeah.
Ryan, J. California Cooper. Like it's like a warm bath. So it's
Mhm.
just, I always just make sure I balance them. And I think people need to be intentional about that, even when it comes to a bunch of stuff. It's why I curate my feed. It's the
That's
same way
right.
I am with news. I just noticed that
Yeah,
I'm like, oh yes, I know I'm up on everything. And
right. I feel you.
I'm not having the best outlook lately.
Right.
Or I think rage has its place because some of my best projects come from rage. But I also live in Nashville, and let me tell you something. I don't see many people like me.
That's right.
So there's only so many times, I can read this stuff and not just be, like, twitching when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, like,
So,
"What?"
like, it's just
Yeah,
I just be like, "This is not good for my
right,
we gotta take these kids to basketball," like,
right,
I
right.
don't wanna be
I gotta sit
around.
yeah, that's right.
I don't After November, I was like, "I am not leaving my freaking house. I feel like
I
I will
know,
lose it." So let's
I
just
know. We're gonna
just needed
stay
to come
home.
down, like,
That's
really
right.
needed to
Get
breathe.
grounded. Yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause
yeah.
so yeah, it's helpful.
I love that. I love that. And you named some great authors for
Yes.
our listeners. Y'all go check them out.
Yeah, I
Um,
love all of them.
yeah, it's so good. I'm curious, where are you seeing, hope right now?
Mhm.
Even amid the challenges that, I mean, we've been facing these challenges, but
Yeah.
on a whole 'nother level right now, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Um, or it's just raging right now.
I
Um,
think and the only reason why it's raging is because for a new population of individuals, they're
that's right.
raging,
Right, right,
but we've
right.
always lived in a fascist
Right,
nation, so that's why I'm
that's
just
right.
like, the
It's
people who are
not
having
new.
the it's not new, we're not having the
No,
same growing pains that some people
no.
are.
Yeah.
Sucks
Where
for
are you
you.
seeing yeah, sucks for
We
you that
told you. We
you're
told
new.
you.
We
But, we told you.
we told y'all.
We have the lived
Period.
experience.
Period, and y'all didn't
Yeah.
listen, so
Mhm.
T. Um, so just
Mhm.
amid everything that's happening, I mean, we're just it's in our not in our feeds, but in a lot of people's feeds, news,
Yeah.
just one thing after another. Again, it's not anything new to the Black community.
Mhm,
Um, I'm curious around where do you see hope? Where
mhm,
are you, experiencing hope? You mentioned your family. I'm just
yeah.
curious around hope for you.
I would say I'm experiencing a good chunk of hope when looking at the way all of us are building coalitions. When
Mhm.
I look at the news from like my trusted resources, one of the best things is like they tell us what's going on. Like I think Capital B is really good. Capital B News is really good at not only saying what's going on, but resources to help and to support. Watching the way so many people are coming together to support us as a
Yeah,
community. Um, and doing it more now because it's been even more evident that this system is it's just even worse, right? So like we come together to do more things. I've seen more individual like online communities come up. I've seen
yeah,
more people trading skills and learning new skills so they can support their own communities. I've seen more
yes,
people advocating for others. So I would say the biggest thing giving me hope is the coalition building that's happening. The people that are deciding to be more intentional about like not letting stuff fly over their heads because something that I'm seeing a lot of individuals being like, I don't know how this happened. So I don't want it
yeah,
to happen again. So now I'm going to
mm,
try to be more educated in the first place because some people were
mm,
asleep at the wheel and
sure,
some people were asleep at the wheel because they didn't think it could impact them. But some people were so just immersed and drowning in all the things that were happening to them that they didn't have a second to like come up for air. Like the same way I gave the example of like we're in session and I'm if I were talking about depression, I'm trying to talk about your mother and you don't have
right,
childcare or you don't have food, like priority
right,
wise. So I feel like more people are being intentional about understanding the long game in terms of being educated. And I like the fact that social media makes it so that more people I don't wanna say take the more people can be connected to the appropriate steps and know what to do. Because I know we live
mm,
in the information age, but that still can be incredibly overwhelming, especially when you
right,
have, like, fake data and you never know what to happen. So I like the fact that I see hope in the fact that, especially the younger generation coming together, creating resources, the intergenerational transmission of ideas when it comes to activism and advocacy, how they're sharing stuff online. I would have never been able to log in online and see somebody in their 20s talking about like this is this bill, this is how to help, this is what you sign, just click this
right,
link. Like I just it really gives me hope in the way that people are doing that.
mhm,
And I think my
mhm,
work will always give me hope. Being able to actually help individuals,
that's
even in times where I can't help myself, because there's not always going to be answers. Some of my problems are just unsolvable at this moment. But being able to actually walk someone through their pattern recognition so they can have agency to take care of
mm,
their issues, that's incredibly powerful. Because when dealing with
yeah,
dealing with people, we're not accountants. My husband's an accountant. We're not doing tech. Our stuff is gray. We reside in the gray, and that's very anxiety
that's
provoking for
right.
so many people. My husband always says, like, I just couldn't talk to all those people, and there's not always an answer versus he's used to like there's always an answer like why is that
Yeah,
not
there's an equation.
there's
Yeah,
it's an equation but
yeah,
people are
yeah,
not that we're just
that's
not
right,
that, right? So like we're
that's
just
right.
very we reside in the gray, like
Mhm,
we don't really you can't do extremes, you can't do always or never. The thing I always say is the only thing that's always bad is racism, but everything
right,
like it's like the isms always bad.
that's
But
right, the
everything else
isms are
it's
always bad.
it's relative and
Yeah,
so that does give me hope to be able to provide
mm,
care and help people with pattern recognition to help them take care of their own issues. When I'm in
yeah,
here in my session, like, girl, just give me the answer with my psychologist. I'd be like,
just tell me what to do.
she never does. I even did last I was like, "I'm just please." I said, "We've been working together
You
for a year,
know,
and I never asked you this before. So as a colleague, can you just tell me what to do?" And then this woman said, "Well, let me ask you this." No!
I
Just
don't want
answer me, Dr. Williams. I
tell
was
me
just
what to
like,
do. I know.
"Man, I know my clients can't stand me some days. Like, you really just" She said, "Well, let me ask you this." No, you don't have to ask me
Yeah,
anything to give me the answer.
that's right, tell me what to do. I'm tired.
Girl. God,
Tell
I
me
said,
what
"I
to do.
never asked you this. I've never asked for an answer ever. Please just tell me what to do. I'm
I
struggling.
love it.
L
Please.
let me ask you
I
this." And I was
love
just
it.
like, "Girl,
Here
you
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 go. I
lucky this
gotta
tea
do
already
more
came
work.
out." Yeah, I don't wanna do no freaking work, what the heck?
It's so funny. For Black women that are listening, my that's
Mhm.
predominantly my audience. That's hilarious, by the way, because I have felt that way
Yeah,
on
and
the
I've literally never done it. I said, "Dr. Williams, please, this is the
give
one
me
time. Can you
yeah,
please just give me the answer?" And when she said, "Let me ask you
she
this," I
just
said,
wants to
"Oh my
empower you.
god."
She just wants to empower you, right? You know
And
the
sometimes I don't
answer.
want it. I don't want it. I want you to tell me what to do.
That's
I
right.
don't want the power. I've had it for a while. I need you to give me the answer.
What do you want Black women listening, right now
Mhm.
to know about themselves in this moment?
Um, I would say, mm, I remember when the election first happened, God, such a trauma. Like,
Uh,
you know how
yeah.
some people, like a significant group of people, like will disassociate or they'll, they won't remember traumatic events. I wholeheartedly
Mm,
think that I'm gonna forget. Like, I'm gonna have such a tough time remembering
mm.
like these 4 years. Like, I really, I see it happening. People being like, you know what it is? I can't remember 2024 to 2020. I don't know what it is. And I'm just like, yeah, we had a collective trauma. Most of
That's
us don't
right.
remember those 4 years.
Yeah, happened.
But I remember after it occurred, I saw a lot of these articles about Black women are retiring and stuff like that.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
I don't think I've never seen like the aspect of Black women retiring. Activism and advocacy is in our blood, and not in it doesn't
mm,
mean that when it comes to boycotts, the activism of teaching your children their truth and their power in your
that's
home,
right.
the agency of knowing how we were going to care for ourselves and care for the people in our houses. So I don't want you
Mhm,
to take in this whole aspect of like, we need to do more, the fact that we're retiring. I want you to think about the fact that it's not like you don't care, but you've prioritized giving attention and trust and energy and care to those
right.
who deserve it. And those may not be the same people before November as they were after November. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to
Yeah,
have a performance to
mhm,
prioritize our own well being. What's best for us is what's going to be best for all of those
mm,
around us because everything we do creates ripples, right? We
right,
all operate in a system. I do not believe in individualistic care. It doesn't exist. We all operate in a system. What's best for me is going to be what's best for my children and my husband and my students. Like no one should have to engage with an exhausted, hungry,
right,
irritable Dr. Martin. I wouldn't want you don't want me grading your paper if I feel that way, right? Like so there's always an
right,
impact of it. So when we're thinking about rest or we're thinking about taking a step back or what that even looks like, I want you to understand that individualistic care that you feel so guilty about is actually going to contribute to your community in such a good way, right? Like you taking that minute, even if it is literally that minute. I sometimes
mhm,
5 minutes of locking myself in the pantry and telling my child, telling
that's right.
hiding. It can be so restorative because I really just needed to think and I just couldn't think. I
Yeah,
just couldn't think.
yeah,
But doing that and understanding that that's what was best for my children,
mhm,
because and best for my husband because like I can't
right,
engage with you in an appropriate way because my brain won't
right,
stop. So,
that's right.
when you feel guilty for that and you're like, "Oh, I'm just being selfish,"
Mhm,
just understand that's what's best for all those around you. It's never
so
you're never
good.
just caring for yourself. It's
That's right,
never a thing. What you're doing for you to support you is gonna be best for every single person you engage with.
that's right.
And also, one of the biggest signs that something is wrong is low frustration tolerance. It is no one's temperament to be upset and moody and mean and nasty all the time. It can be the fact that the thing that's been
Mhm,
impacting you has been around you for so long, but that is not
mhm,
us. It's just not who we are. It means that something
wow,
is wrong. Low frustration tolerance, getting to 10 every single day when it comes to anger, that's a really big sign that something is wrong, and I want you to pay attention
mm,
to that. It is not your temperament to be that way. It's just not.
wow,
It's not in us. It's not who we are.
wow, that's beautiful. Good wisdom. Complete this sentence. When Black
Mhm.
women exhale.
Performance.
Mm,
I feel like
it's
we're asked to
good.
perform so much,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fix your face when we're upset,
yeah, yeah,
care for someone else before caring for others. I want you to exhale. I want you to get that performance out of your body.
yeah. Exhale performance. Thank you so much for being on. How
Thank
can my
you.
folks find you? How can we support you? The movement that you're building, how can we be a part of that?
Yes, so I'm Raquel Martin, PhD, Raquel Martin, PhD everywhere. Instagram. I don't know what TikTok is doing, but I am still on there.
Mm.
Facebook, Threads. My website is raquelmartinphd.com, where if you're interested in taking one of my CE courses or knowing where I'm at, there's always like, where in the world is Dr. Martin when it comes down to that. And we are on hold for our Burn the Cape group, but it's only because we're doing another group, and the list is so long that it's like I'm sure we're going to be able to fill the group from that. But you can donate to Burn the Cape. And I also have a mental health community, the Sanctuary, where we do courses every single month. Where we will record a course, and you'll also get like mental health guides on a specific topic when it comes to Black women. To kind of combine my loves of like mental health and education. It does have a big
Mm.
education piece, y'all. Like there are courses in it.
Yes.
So like
Yeah,
it's like if you're like, I ain't come here to learn, well, there's the free community where you can just,
that's right.
discussion boards and local member boards. But if you're interested in like doing more of the core education piece, we also have that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank
I love
you.
you, sending you all the hugs and loves and
Thank you
all the
so
things.
much. Sending it right back.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Ready to Exhale. Until next time, may you find moments to pause and exhale.